The King of Monsters, also known as Godzilla, has been terrorizing the entertainment business for 70 years now, and his popularity growth has no signs of slowing down. From conquering the box office around the world to famous TV shows, popular collectibles, and video games, Godzilla is currently enjoying his biggest success in history. But where did Godzilla came from? What inspiration, struggles, and motivation did the creator had? In the next several videos, I will explore the true origin, the history that you haven't heard before of how Godzilla became the King of Monsters. And before we continue, if you like the video so far, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It would help me create more videos like this for you. The King Kong character, created by American filmmaker Merian C. Cooper. Cooper became fascinated by gorillas at the age of 6. In 1899, he was given a book from his uncle called Explorations and Adventures in Equatorial Africa. Cooper became fascinated with the stories involving gorillas in the book. One of the stories was about a giant gorilla, Du Chailu, that the natives described as the invincible and the king of the African forest. As an adult, Cooper became involved in the motion picture industry, and this is when the idea for the film King Kong was created. On December 22, 1931, Cooper got the dimensions of a bull gorilla from the American Museum of Natural History. When Cooper saw him, he was "Das King Kong." Cooper combined forces with RKO Pictures and created the film King Kong in 1933, which became an instant massive success, including Japan. King Kong can be considered the first Kaiju. King Kong popularity in Japan inspired the film industry to create their own Kaiju. Godzilla was also inspired by a 1953 film, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, directed by Eugene Laurie, in which a giant monster is also awakened by an atomic bomb explosion. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms was based on a science fiction short story called The Foghorn that was created in 1951 by American writer Ray Bradbury. The plot follows the protagonist and narrator Johnny and his boss McDunn, who are working at night at a remote lighthouse in late November. This lighthouse has a foghorn that attracts a sea monster. He has been attracted by the same foghorn on the same night for the last 2 years. The two workers feel that the monster has an attachment, a love for the lighthouse, because the foghorn sounds like the sea monster himself. The foghorn tricks the monster into thinking he has found another of his kind. McDunn and Johnny turn off the foghorn while the monster is visiting, and enraged, the monster destroys the lighthouse before retreating to the sea. After that scary situation, the lighthouse is reconstructed with reinforced concrete, and Johnny finds a new job away from the lighthouse. Years later, Johnny returns and asks McDunn if the monster ever returned, and it never did. McDunn thinks that the monster will continue to wait in the depths of the ocean. And this is the base story for The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, in which the plot begins with a nuclear test called Operation Experiment, conducted in the north of the Arctic Circle. The explosion awakens a 200-foot dinosaur. The dinosaur begins making its way down the east coast of North America, sinking many fishing ships along the way. The Beast reaches the Coney Island amusement park, but the military is waiting. The town is destroyed in the mayhem. At the end, the military finally defeats the dinosaur by poisoning the creature with radiation. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms was distributed by Warner Brothers, and it was released on June 1953. Just like King Kong, both films were a massive success. Both films used the effects of stop-motion animation to bring their kaijus or creatures to life. Stop-motion animation is basically a process where you take a prop and you create a pose and then you take a picture. You then create a different pose and take another picture until you create several frames of animation. Traditional 2D animation is a similar process, but the poses are created with drawings instead of taking pictures of the props. Stop-motion animation is a very time-consuming process, but it has a very unique art style result. One of the most famous films in the last decades to use this technique is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Aside from taking inspiration from these two films, King Kong and the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, Godzilla was also created as a symbol of the atomic bombs dropped in Nagasaki and Hiroshima in August 1945 during World War II. Godzilla reminds us that we have the terrible power to create our own monsters and contribute to our own destruction. The name Godzilla, or Gojira, came from a combination of two Japanese words, gorira, which means gorilla, and kujira, which means whale. And those two words came from a big, tall man working at Toho Studios at the time, where other employees would say, man, that guy's as big as a gorilla. Others would say, no, he's almost as big as a kujira, or whale. And this is how the Godzilla name was created. Even though Toho took inspiration from the first two Kaiju American films, Japan wanted to make their own Kaiju unique and different. Toho took a different special effects approach for bringing their Kaiju to life in their film. They created a technique known as suit nation, which is basically an actor in a suit. The Godzilla suit design used in the 1954 Godzilla film Gojira was named Shodai Goji. The original on-screen design for the character, the Shodai Koji, heavily inspired all the designs that follow and remains one of the most popular looks for Godzilla. Since the film was in black and white, Godzilla's body color was unclear on screen. The original suit was extremely heavy for the actor to perform. Quickly, a lighter second version was created, but many struggles still remained. And this was only the beginning. Toho took inspiration from the first two Kaiju American films, and Japan enduring the tough times of World War II. Godzilla, the King of Monsters, is finally born in 1954, and it's the beginning of an unforgettable movie era. The world was never the same after the release of the first Godzilla film. This is how Godzilla, the King of Monsters, started. Join me in the next episode where we continue to explore and study all the struggles the studio had to go through, even against all odds, how Toho was able to achieve their goal. The side of his history that you haven't heard before, of the creation of Godzilla, the King of Monsters.